everyone, and welcome to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. I'm your host, Simona Spark, and our mission is to build a future where no one needs to come out anymore. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the right to love, to succeed, to have a family, and to live a full, happy life. Welcome back, everyone, and a happy new year to all of you. Our guest today is an incredible woman that I admire and respect, Whitney. Welcome, Whitney.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good and very grateful that you are here with us today. How are you feeling?
Wonderful. I'm really happy to spend a little time with you and your listeners today.
Fantastic. So let's just start with telling us, where are you from?
I live in Southern California, a block from the beach, right here in Long Beach, California.
That sounds wonderful. And what is it that you do in the world?
So I have the privilege of working with people with their dreams and their hearts and the way that their beliefs are lined up in their brain and aligning all of those things, being with them while they align all of those things to be in alignment with their soul. So I do something called soul work with people where I just kind of work on the inside stuff and really make sure everything clicks in so they can just continue to enjoy life. I do have that private practice and a small little thing called Your Soul School that I've been working on that's been actually wanting to be birthed through me for quite some time. That's all coming together. And I do retreats. And then I have a beautiful day job. Actually, I have a day job that I also love. And I am director of a coaching department for a school. And that's fabulous. And I get to interact with about 60 to 80 coaches on any given week. And I feel really fortunate for that as well as the students that we serve. So I have a pretty full life.
Yeah.
And I live my 11.8 pound puppy who keeps me super busy.
I love it. Fur baby.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to thank you for the work that you do, not only in your, private practice and just helping people to find themselves and connect with themselves, but also for the work of holding a space for others to do the same thing for their own clients. It's quite a impactful work. So thank you.
Well, so fortunate to be in this line of work.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have stepped into who I really am. Yeah. So I invite everyone listening to just continue to be who you are, more and more you every day.
Wonderful. Such a beautiful invitation for our listeners. Thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
And before you step into who you are every day, let's go back a little bit and tell us, how was it life for you growing up?
I grew up in Southern California area. And I remember being young and my mom would take us to the cliffs and she would take pictures of myself and my brothers. She was really proud of that she had these 3 beautiful children that she could take pictures of, with the sunset and the ocean behind. And as I continued to grow up, I just remember I was a little runway model for like the garden club and all of those junior leagues and everything that my mom was interested in. And I remember getting dressed with all the other models. And there were some older models, like back then I probably thought they were 40 years old, but they were probably 16, now that I think about it, and feeling awkward because I wanted to watch them change. I thought it was beautiful to see the pretty lingerie. And, I was probably 6 or 7. So I started to feel shame and just kind of carried on to try to become the daughter that my mom wanted. She wanted a beauty pageant doctor or, judge or, just like this some princess story picture. And I decided I just needed to be myself. And so that meant kind of stepping away from her in a way and being a rebel. Yeah. So I don't know if that really answered where I came from, but that is really kind of where I came from.
Yes. It answered. It's so beautiful because in this space and with my mission and my work is to support parents into becoming the parents that their children need them to be. I want to thank you for sharing that part of your story and how one at age of 6 could realize that that's what I want in my life. And yet I'm expected of doing something else, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah. And I actually didn't even really know that I wanted it, but what I knew was that I was drawn to that. There was like a youthful curiosity of like, wow, that's pretty. You know, oh, I like that hair. She has long hair. Wow, look how fast she's changing her outfit, you know, because when you're doing the runway, you change your clothes very quickly. Yeah, I just found that attractive. And then I can remember the same thing in high school. Everybody remember changing clothes for gym?
Yeah.
That was torture for me because I literally felt shame. I felt shame that, you know, I wanted to, you know, I wasn't like being a pervert, but I was just curious. I was drawn to like, what do women's bodies that are older than me look like? And wow, they're so beautiful to me. You know, the soft curve and the brown skin. I grew up in California. So it was very interesting to me. And instead, what I did was I just covered all that up and had a pretty volatile childhood, not a whole lot of guidance, figured it a lot out on my own. Had a very, very dear friend in high school, and we were best friends. And if we would have understood sexuality, like actively being sexual, we might have been lovers, but we were clueless to that. So I would say we were like platonic partners in a way. And it was confusing for both of us, but no drama because we were just super, super tight. We were like, I don't know, really, really good mates, good hangout people. We grew together a lot. And then I went to college. In college, very, very small college town, went with my roommate. I was an older, transferred in to college. And so they put me with the RA, the resident assistant. And to me, that was like going to prison. I was going away to college and my roommate was like the nerd, like the boss of the dorm. Well, she ended up being gay. And I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So we went down to listen to some music and I felt someone walk up and sit down at the table behind me. And I wrote on a napkin to my friend, I don't know who that is, but I can feel them. It ended up being, of course, just my luck, the musician that was playing that night. So they come up on stage and play all night. And that's the first time that I really actually really felt like, oh my God, I don't know who that is behind me, but they're going to be mine. Like I just felt that. And yeah, 10 years later of people learning how to grow together and not grow together and all the things that come with first loves like that sometimes, you know, now 20, 30 years later, we're still friends.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. So, Whitney, I'm curious, was it there a time when you actually come out to someone? What was your experience in that process when you actually say it out loud?
Well, I remember coming out to my mom and, you know, in the beginning of our conversation, I told you that, you know, I had to be a certain way for my mom. So I remember when I finally did come out to her, I know I struggled with it for a couple of years and fortunately she lived far away. So it wasn't like she was around me a lot. But when I did decide to tell her, I was so nervous and I played it out in my mind literally for like a year and a half, 100 different ways it could turn out. And she literally said to me, oh my God, that is so cool. I'm going to be so hip now because my daughter's gay. This is perfect. So of course it was about her again. You know, which is fine. That's a whole nother podcast. But I mean, she thought it was cool. It was, oh my gosh, I'm going to be like the hit of the party. And that actually kind of took it away, took some of the joy away from me because it was like, wait a minute, of course it's about you again. What about me claiming my life, like claiming who I am and putting my roots into this earth? How do I want to show up in this world and what do I want to create and experience in my life? You know, so for me, that's really what coming out is about. It's not always so much about who you tell or how you tell it. It's about who you become by like leaning beyond those comfort zone edges and really saying, wow, you know what? This is one of the scariest things that might be in my entire life. And I would rather step through this fear so that I can really live my life and be who I am, versus be scared back here. And so, you know, coming out is a beautiful thing. And it's really about being able to look ourselves in the mirror and become who we're really here on this planet to be. And nowadays, I mean, my gosh, kids are growing up seeing this on TV all the time. So it's nothing like, you know, it was for me, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like how you say the kids are seeing on TV, and that's true. And those kids' parents, they didn't see it on TV. So
Right.
I'm looking like people that I'm working with, like my generation or older. It's still, and I really want to have a lot of compassion for them because they never been educated, they never learn about it, or even more so, was a sin, was a curse, was a disease, was whatever it was, the belief they grow up with, right? So
Mm-hmm.
look at those children, it's like, yeah, they have more open mind than we have when we were that age, but how they could claim that identity to a parent that they know there is no way they will understand or accept, right?
Yeah, and it's kind of like I remember learning for myself when I was coming out to myself, like getting comfortable with it and looking at the pros and the cons of, will I have a good life? Can this actually work? Is my life going to be harder? Who's going to love me? Like, is this real kind of thing? And so just like it took myself to become comfortable, it also took some of the people that loved me time to get comfortable with it. And I just see like, hey, you know what? This is me, and it took me time, and I'm giving myself grace. I'll offer the same to you. Mm-hmm. I know at some point love will come around.
Yes, absolutely. Our children just want us to be happy and proud of them. So I'm just curious, from your experience and all the knowledge and the wisdom that you gain over time, what you will say to those parents that they might suspect or not that their children might be part of LGBTQ community and they don't know how to approach a conversation?
That's a beautiful question. So what would I say to a parent that is thinking that their child may be LGBTQ? Mm-hmm. I would ask them to put their hand on their belly and go back to when that child was in them and really connect to the heartbeat of the two of you and really invoke your highest intention for them. Greatest love, want them to be happy and thrive, all the things, fall in love, have a beautiful career, travel the world, whatever it is you desire for your child. And then to allow that depth of love from you to speak to the higher part of them. And that's actually a way the conversation can begin for both of you, is offering that, speaking from your higher self to their higher self, and just being like, I love you, no matter what, I love you, and I'm right here. Whenever you're ready, I will learn together we'll learn how to navigate this.
Yes.
No matter what I feel, whether I feel excited or nervous or scared or worried or happy or uncomfortable, and all the full range of all of those things. Exactly. And the barking.
Yes.
All of the range of all of that, to really, really just, this is your child.
Yeah.
And just like we all desire nothing more than to just be loved, just as we are and who we are. And if we can all do that for each other, imagine how colorful and vibrant this life will be that we live.
Yes. Thank you. I am just so grateful that with every conversation, we are landing on the same space. Instead of focusing on gender identity and sexual orientation, to actually focusing on love.
Yeah. It's really the highest thing we can do with our lives, is to enjoy life. I mean, that's like why we're here. And I can't think of a better way to do that besides doing it with love, being in love.
Yes.
With all of it. Yeah.
So that being said, I mean, this is it's a beautiful way to close this conversation on this high vibration and just the invitation of connecting with love at the highest vibration that you could find, mm-hmm. and operate from that place.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Is there anything that you might want to add to this in closing?
I mean, the only thing I would add to that piece right there is, yes, connecting to the highest, the highest vibration of love that you are able to access in that moment. meaning there are times that we ride waves, that just like the ocean, right? Ebb and flow. And being part of being human is having that full range of emotion, and being able to expand that range increases the ability of love. So embrace the highs, embrace the lows, and if we all continue to learn how to become who we are, I mean, my God, how more beautiful could life be?
Yes.
Yeah.
How enriching your life will be if you keep talking with a parent here, and to invite in that beautiful experience your own child. And now we just double the vibration, the intensity is just, I'm often saying that my son coming out was such a beautiful gift, because I get to experience like the joy of Christmas, quote unquote, every day.
That's so beautiful. Well, and in many, many cultures, the deities were considered, like, if you actually were born into the Hawaiian culture and you were anything other than hetero, you were considered like divine. Oh, you're a gay man? Thank you. We honor you. Thank you. What are you here to teach us? You know? So in all cultures, you know, we're highly revered. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So what better way to be born to parents that know how special you are, and to children that can share that with their parents? There's nothing better. Anyway, I love the work you're doing in the world. And thank you for being willing to be a voice, so that other parents and other people can learn that we're all okay. We're just learning how to do this all together.
Thank you. I appreciate your kind words. And I appreciate you making the time to be here with us today. And really looking forward to have you back so we could learn more about your work, your mission, as we want to inspire, help, and support others and show them what's possible and available, regardless of one's gender identity or sexual orientation.
Beautiful. Anytime.
Thank you for tuning in to Redefine Family, a Spark Transformation podcast. We invite you to share your story, knowing that your story could change someone's life. Feel free to spread the love by sharing our message with others. We always like to hear from you at spark@redefinedfamily.com. Always remember that you are the spark in your life. Just shine bright.